Hello and welcome to When Will It End, the movie podcast where we watch the movies and we are just trapped in Gotham and it sucks and someone get us out of this piece of shit city. It sucks ass. No one likes Gotham. It's terrible. No one should live there. All of it's bad. We watch the movies, start at the beginning, we watch all the movies. This is the end of our one of the least consistent series we've ever done.
We made it.
I think you disliked it more than I did, but we're really going out with a fart. A big old stinking bat fart.
Oh, God, he makes the worst. Can you imagine the farts of a Batman?
Well, I imagine he's getting a lot of intestinal distress from all of the just high-impact lifestyle he leads.
Yeah.
Not just his long-term girlfriend and he's getting punched in the stomach all the time, but, you know, he's eating what? Vichyssoise? He's eating...
Who knows? Alfred, as we learned in this movie, is decrepit, falling apart, and we assume that he's the one making his meals.
Right. We have this old man, and certainly in the age of COVID, watching this decrepit figure, you know, staggering around a mansion, clutching his chest constantly, you're like, you know, get that guy to a fucking hospital.
That was the only thing I liked. I brought it up in the first episode of this verse. The way they treat Alfred is like, oh, he's just a friend of the family. And Catgirl, whatever, Batgirl, I don't fucking know. She lays down the law. She's like, this is some imperialist bullshit. Set this old man free.
The young radical Marxist Alicia Silverstone really brings the proletariat's plight to the fore in this shit-ass movie. I maybe watched half of this, like, in a watching way. And then I took a call from my brother. I heard more about my nephew. They're worried about him hitting his growth targets, so I'm rooting for him.
How do you
I played
how do you
some video
root for
game.
That?
You know, I told my brother that maybe it was his fault somehow, which I thought was helpful.
Yeah.
So that was nice of me. I checked the weather.
I'm really curious about this growth target because it seems like something that's completely out of control of the parent.
It looked like you just hurt yourself.
No, I'm fine.
You went, oh, and put your little knuckle in your mouth. And I was like, did he nick his knuckle?
Well, long-time listeners know I have eczema. It's been a chronic problem in my life since I was a very young age. And I'm currently experiencing, here, I don't know if you can see it. You want to see a wound?
Oh, I can. Yeah, I see it. He's got some gross stuff on his knuckles, fans.
Yeah, I got some eczematic wounds. So that's what I've been dealing with. But I'm curious about this baby thing. Like, do they feed the baby differently to try to get it to grow to a certain level? Like, what's the point of this growth?
I think he's resisting eating right now, which is the problem.
Because he knows he's already being judged, and he's, what, a year old?
Well, it's funny because I was reading about this terrible-ass movie by Joel Schumacher, Buddy, You Let Us Down.
He's apologized many times.
Alicia Silverstone had a horrible experience making this movie. People were, like, fat-shaming Alicia Silverstone.
I heard.
On the set of this movie, and it's like everything about this is just cursed and shitty. I was also reading about Schwarzenegger like accidentally drinking battery acid because of the LCD lights in his mouth. Like everything about this was cursed. Val Kilmer didn't do this because he wanted to do The Island of Dr. Moreau, one of the most truly cursed films of all time. And by the way, the movie about the making of The Island of Dr. Moreau is absolutely incredible. Anyways, this whole movie is cursed. It's unwatchable, genuinely unwatchable.
Yeah, it's
bad.
So about the Batgirl thing, like I guess there was some, you probably read this too, but the costume designer who's like making sketches was like made a really mean sketch and like passed around the office. Everyone was calling her Butt Girl, which, I mean, hey, I'd take Butt Girl over most of the nicknames I'm called.
Sure.
Yeah.
That'd be a huge improvement for you.
But yeah, this movie's like, so I watched half of it too, but what I did was I like watched exactly half of it, and then you were like, this movie sucks, don't even like sort of skip around. And at that point I was like, do I skip around or do I just tell Josh I'm skipping around and go do something else? So I watched up to hour 7 and then just shut it off.
Hour 7?
1 hour 7 minutes. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Not the
I was
7.
like, what? Watching the Bella Tarr cut of Batman and Robin?
Yeah, I'm watching the Snyder cut.
Cool. We do have some important business to take care of. So fans of the show might know that Charles, like many of us, has a birthday. And like a good friend, I went out of my way to prepare a surprise for Charles for his birthday. using a new internet service that I find very entertaining. And for the first time, it completely failed me and was delivered to me so late that I actually got it for free. But Charles, I'm going to send you a link now in our chat.
Okay.
And you're going to watch this. We can patch in the audio later, but you can watch. Yeah, I'm going to watch it on my end. Okay.
Oh, hold on. I got to turn my speakers
ready?
on just a second.
Okay. All right. We're both going to watch this. And obviously, listeners at home, we'll post a link to this. Okay.
All right. Should we just... I mean, it's going to be off sync, I guess. I'll just click it now.
Hi, Charles. It's Kristen Chenoweth here to wish you a very early next birthday. I believe I may be late. This is a gift to you from, and I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, Josh.
Sorry, of course, that's
Hosh. He said that you enjoyed Scary Movie 4, which we call the third movie in the trilogy. Yeah. I'm crying. That's not laughing. Charles, and it's in quotes, so I know that's not really your name. So I'm going to call you Janet. Betty, happy birthday, first of all. You know, surviving another year is, let's be honest, it's not impressive. But you do. You didn't get killed. You didn't catch a disease, which I admittedly, a little bit more impressive now than it is. Hey, what a boner if you did, and this is going to nobody. My apologies to you, sincerely, if that is the truth. But I doubt it. I imagine you're healthy and happy and hopefully dressed. I can tell you that I'm doing fine. I was told to tell you some very long and boring stories, as if that needs to be told to me. I'm not going to do that. Why? Charisma shoots out of me like fire color balls from a Roman candle. You heard me right. Fire color balls. Anyway, I want to wish you a happy birthday, but I can't at this time. My religion prevents it. So I'm just going to wish you a hey, 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 and leave it at that. I love you.
Oh, my God.
Let it never be said that I don't give you cool-ass birthday presents. Because, yes, listeners, look, he needs no introduction. We got Craig Bierko ultimately for free because he turned it in so fucking late. And look, are you still watching?
No, I was listening to yours. So
that's a lot. You got a lot of cameo for your buck, huh?
yeah,
that's a long one.
This is my first cameo, so I don't know. It's like,
well, congratulations.
Well, no, I mean, I don't need to be congratulated by the gift giver. You gave it to me. Thank you.
Well, you deserve it. Watching the scary movies were, in retrospect, a real highlight of our lives because that's really one of the last series we got to watch together in person, and we did it in a horrifying, obsessive manner where we watched so many in one day. So I thought, why not relive the glory days of Scary Movie with our old friend Craig Bierko?
We got to. I mean, if there's anyone who needs congratulations, it's you for somehow getting me a gift and not having to spend any money on it.
Yeah, it's a big win for me, and I don't want to lose sight of that. You know, I'm not going to be gauche and say how much I was willing to pay for Craig Bierko to send you birthday greetings.
Wait, actually, can you?
$20, but it was for charity, and it was so late that ultimately it defaulted back to nothing. So, you know, in a lot of ways, it's a win for us and for the podcast because the listeners now, they know that we run in the kind of circles where we can get Craig Bierko's birthday greetings for free. That's pretty cool.
That is cool. I'll tell people rather than it was late that we just are actually good friends with Craig Bierko, and this video was sent to me, not through Cameo. Is the Cameo logo show up as like a watermark?
I think so. Maybe. I don't know.
Let me check.
Just rip the audio.
Yeah. I can just crop it. He looks great.
I love Craig. Craig did a great job. He really leaned into this one.
Wait, does he have a Craig Bierko like self-portrait or something in the background there?
I did notice the painting. I did. Obviously, I'm not in a position to ask Craig about it, but I like to think that Craig has a nice portrait of himself hanging.
Wait, what it looks like is actually... I'm looking at it again right now. Well, this video will be available so everyone else can dive into it like I am. It doesn't look like a portrait. It looks like it's literally painted directly onto his kitchen wall.
That's amazing.
Yeah, there's no
like a fresco.
There's no frame, and it just looks like he's.
It's a Bierko fresco.
Bierko fresco. Wow, we should enroll his talent. I can see that we could do that.
Yeah, I mean, how do you feel that a real celebrity, a bona fide celebrity who we have covered on the show, wished you a happy birthday?
I feel honored. I know that this is sort of like a business, but he did it well, and he sort of admitted that he was wrong, which is always nice to hear. But then he just like he admitted that you were wrong for trying to tell him what to say because he's the fire rocket ball.
Okay, hold on. They specifically tell you to fill in the box what you want from Craig Bierko when you solicit the considerable charisma of Craig Bierko. So I feel a bit like I've been, thrown to the bus on that one.
Craig throws everyone under the bus. It's just one of the things you got to know about Craig.
And yeah, I mean, does this change your thoughts on Scary Movie 4 now that you have this like closer relationship to one of its leads?
Well, I mean, I feel like I always felt this way about Craig. I mean, it's really nice to like have a reminder, but that's sort of what, I mean, honestly, I don't really remember anything about Scary Movie 4. Which one was that?
Oh, that's the War of the Worlds one. He's the Tom Cruise dad.
Yeah.
Remember, he's always the kids are getting hurt all the time. It's hysterical.
Yeah, we sort of liked that one, right? Or no?
It's no Scary Movie 3.
Right.
But the problem is Simon Fox is like $75 on Cameo, and I was like, I am not shelling
That's
out
crazy.
I know, right? Like, look, Simon, you're hysterical in Scary Movie 3. I'm not gonna split hairs here. But Scary Movie 5 is a crime against humanity, man, and that knocks some of the luster out of your star.
That is so sad that movie is like the most memorable, even though we didn't watch it. Like I remember more from that movie for some reason than any of the other ones.
I mean, I remember the one basic joke from Scary Movie 5 just being that, like, essentially,
they had cameras.
The found footage bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
I remember nothing else about it. That shit was awful. But 3 was good.
3 was good. Unlike Batman 4.
Which suck ass. It suck ass all day.
Which was bad.
Let me ask you this. How is your life different now that a bona fide celebrity has wished you happy birthday?
So I just want to, I think the listeners ought to know, they might miss this, but this is what makes Josh an award-winning journalist. He's asked me the same question a few times, and I haven't really answered his question, but rather than give up and go back to his dumb little office and just write some dog shit piece of journalism and then read it into a microphone, he comes back at you over and over and over again like a wave, like a Batman butt. He is there until the end, until I answer that question.
Like close-ups on codpieces and assholes in a Joel Schumacher movie, I am relentless.
That is one. I wish he'd up the game this time. And I know that he like right out the gate, we got a butt shot. Can you imagine if there's a little tiny hole in that pant?
I would love that.
Got a good look at the actual sphincter?
Bat hole.
Yeah.
The bat hole. So just, Cameo said they're going to freak out, they being you. Make sure to capture the reaction and share it with us and Craig Bierko for a chance to be featured on Cameo. So we did capture the reaction to Craig.
So this isn't really about award-winning journalism. This was you trying to, like, get some more free shit. Okay.
Well, sorry for trying to get the brand out there and getting your name out there. Sorry if that's a problem for you, that I care about you so much.
Wow. You never did share that link.
I haven't yet. I want to see what I actually requested of him.
Oh, no, I meant the link to our Patreon.
Oh, my God.
You still never did it.
Okay, so
you told me you were going to do it, and then you never did it.
Craig misread my instructions. I'm not trying to put Craig on blast right now.
He put you under the bus. Why don't you put him under there for a little while?
I'm going to, in turn, as you put it, put him under the bus. What I said was, can you make fun of him for telling boring stories and tell him he's the Scary Movie 4 of Friends? Thanks.
That's great. That's succinct. I think he might not understand the phrase "the Scary Movie 4 of Friends." Maybe that's where he got really confused.
Well, I mean, I explained that we're podcast co-hosts.
Yeah.
And I explained that we particularly enjoyed covering Scary Movie 4. And that it was his birthday Monday. What I'm trying to say is I didn't ask him to tell a boring story.
Right,
I asked him to make fun of you for your shit awful stories.
He misread it. Did he say why it was so late?
He did not offer an explanation.
Huh. Man, I feel like being a cameo person is probably the easiest job you could ever have.
Well, I got Allison a cameo of a reality show, like one of the lowest ranked reality show stars possible. Again, like $25 maybe. And he turned that shit around in a day.
Exactly. It takes 10 seconds. You don't even, it's a one take.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of aggressive editing that goes into saying happy birthday to Charles. Anyone can do it.
I could do it. And it doesn't even make sense, but I could do it.
It would be sad.
Yeah.
If you like wish yourself happy birthday.
I mean, hopefully it wouldn't be the only one. But yeah, that would be a bad birthday. But I had a good birthday.
Yeah, well, I want to, just say that your wonderful partner, Amy, put together what I have to say is a very impressive present.
It was amazing. Maybe the greatest present I've ever received. And I'm sorry.
Hold on. Whoa. On the fucking, the water is still rippling from the impact of my Craig Bierko cameo to you, and you have the nerve in front of our entire audience, hello, to say that this trumps the fucking Bierko shout out. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So Amy got me a projector, 120-inch screen, and a frame to set up the screen so we could watch movies outside with friends during a pandemic. You got me an old man for free, misunderstanding instructions and talking into his laptop. So yeah, I mean, I liked it.
Hold on. Craig gave you a free slice of Bierko, and he's not old. He's older than us.
So, Josh, here's the thing about
old.
gifts. All gifts are free to the recipient. He gave you a free slice of Bierko cake.
Okay, when you put it like that, it doesn't look great. But what I'm trying to say is that, maybe what I'm saying, and of course I'd considered this before what I'm saying right now, our relationship transcends money. It's not about the money.
Oh, right.
It's about the love.
Yeah. And Bierko is a fine addition as the triangle.
Imagine a whole episode, just you, me, and Bierko just talking shit. Oh.
How much would that be?
Oh, man. I mean, for a full hour?
An hour cameo, yeah.
So Saw 4, there's the Saw jokes in this. Anna Faris only did it because she got $1 million. I mean, this is a big movie, okay?
Wait, sorry, what was that?
Scary Movie 4.
Yeah.
That's a Craig Mason joint.
It sure was. It felt like it.
Yeah. I'm trying to find some of the great quotes you may remember from Craig Bierko, and I'll share them.
That's nice.
Oh, yeah. I've never been a good parent. Just ask my son. I did. What exactly is a cockmonger? That's not important right now.
It's a good one. Yeah.
Remember that exchange?
I think I'd have to listen to that episode again to really know what I felt because, again, I have no memory of it. But
can we pad out this episode with just clips from that episode?
Josh, we've been going for like 15 minutes now. I think we've simply mentioned a butthole about Batman 4. So, yeah, we're doing great on the padding.
No, we mentioned that Alicia Silverstone gained a little weight and was crucified in the press by it. Mm-hmm. That's horrible.
And on set, which is like
awful,
truly disgusting. I love that Bierko, the still, like the freeze frame image that shows up for the link is him looking very angry. It's a very intimidating present, Josh.
Well, I mean, he's like a big presence. I've interviewed him in person.
Right. I remember.
Me and Craig have a relationship, a professional relationship. And he brings that energy really to the room too. So, I mean, I think I'm giving you, how to explain this? I'm one of the beautiful people because I'm a journalist, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's like in the 60s, me, Truman Capote,
sure,
Andy Warhol, a female celebrity, we would all be together laughing and drinking cocktails and trying LSD, having sex with each other, okay? I don't know, you could maybe serve drinks at the party?
Yeah, I'd love that.
You could watch us fuck and trip,
yeah,
and talk shit on like Tom Wolfe or whatever.
Sort of, complain about you behind your back to like my coworkers,
right?
But when I go to see you, I'd be really nice,
right? Exactly, because service work. So for me, I let you into this world, this beautiful world that only Cameo can provide. And Cameo, if you underwrite podcasts, we've had a great experience with you, and we can share that with our listener.
Yeah. Well, it really made me tickled, I got tickled.
You look sadder than when we started the episode.
Well, it's not a great episode, I don't think. We're really dealing with some... I mean, this is the highlight. I'm sort of just thinking now of where we're going. We have to leave...
Yeah, these are the good days.
We have to leave the
For example, Mr. Freeze says 27 ice puns throughout the movie. That's one of the better parts of the movie, and I'm not joking.
You know how many lines he had? I think he had like
28.
35. Yeah, exactly. It's... Oh, boy.
Hey, this will lighten the mood. The guy who played Bane died 2 months after the movie came out. His name was Jeep Swenson.
How did he die?
I'm looking it up.
Yeah, get deep. Get deep in the dark web. Do that little research.
Here I am on the dark web, imdb.com. So I always, as a kid, found this version of Bane very upsetting.
So, yes.
Because, like, he's like a fucking medical experiment, and that really upsets me.
So what is the story? I only know him through Dark Knight Rises. I never read Batman. I never watched Batman. I've pretty much only seen the Nolan versions and then the ones with Affleck. And now this is like going backwards. It's very confusing because I don't know who's the real Bane.
Well, I mean, like all these characters, like I'm not a fucking bathead. I don't know all this shit. To make a long story short, it seems like the Nolan Bane, that's more of the Bane that people that like, you know, he's smart and capable, not just this Bane who's a big piece of shit.
Okay.
Who's just like a dummy.
He is like...
In this movie, he's like some random like murderer who gets pumped full of venom against his will and just becomes a big hulking moron who doesn't say anything.
Yeah, it was really
I think
bizarre.
Yeah.
It was so fucking boring.
Well, it's also like, why pack in yet another villain to one of these fucking movies? Jesus, this movie sucked ass. Uma Thurman is fucking awful.
Everyone is awful.
Oh, sorry. Before we get too far, Jeep Swenson died of a heart failure. And famously... James Caan and Hulk Hogan delivered eulogies at his funeral. So,
wow. Do you think he was actually injected with venom, and maybe that's why his heart gave out so early?
Well, it was either that or because he was over 400 pounds when he died and had a massive myocardial infarction.
I never liked that word.
Infarction?
Yeah.
It always sounds like it's wrong, right?
Right. I mean, obviously you want to fill an infraction because I don't even know if that's a word, but it sounds much more like a word.
Infraction is a word.
Okay, I just didn't want to... I know that fraction is a word. I couldn't quite figure out what infraction would be. Like an infraction, like if you're doing something a little bit bad, that sort of a thing?
Well, certainly one's heart is doing something a little bit bad when it stops working. So infarction, infraction, incraction. So here's a fun fact about Jeep. His WCW ring name, because he was a wrestler, was changed from the Final Solution to the Ultimate Solution due to protests from Jewish groups. The WCW claimed that they were unaware that the Final Solution was the name Hitler gave to his plan to destroy the Jews.
I believe that this man had no idea, and it's nice that he changed it.
He's also a graduate of Robert E. Lee High School.
Well, maybe he did know then. I don't know. The world's a confusing place.
Isn't it really? Do you ever think about that? How can we ever know anything, you know?
No, I don't really. No, I just sort of, ride my scooter around town.
Do you have a scooter?
Yes. Of course I have a scooter.
You always try to get people excited about the scooter thing. And
no one remembers. I told you this many times.
It's not my favorite thing about you.
Oh, well, that's nice. Because, it's not really that cool.
Man, I got to tell you, looking at the user reviews of this movie, the focusing on the nipples, it's really wild to me that the bat nipples becomes such a... Like, I don't like this movie either.
But I like the nipples.
But the nipples are one of the better parts of the movie.
Yeah. Let's spend a few minutes here, because I really think we didn't really watch the movie. We didn't have a plan. We had just a Bierko plan, and that lasted 10 minutes. I feel like...
Do you want to watch it again?
Let's come up with a plan here.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love plans. I love rules. I think we need something to get us back into the episode. I feel like
for our sports fans, what we're doing now is calling an audible.
Here it is.
That's when, in footballs, the guy with the ball who done throwed it, that's the quarterback. Sometimes they change the plan right there on the pitch. And he goes, guys, I know we talked about doing it one way, but guess what? I'm the quarterback, and I say we're going to do it a different way.
You've already used this analogy before. So here's, at least when I use analogies, they're very long and very boring, but I never use the same one twice.
Honestly, egg on my face.
You think
Egg
you've
on my
said
face.
that? You've said that too. But yeah,
okay, so now the rule is we can't repeat fucking anything we've said over the years of our friendship
I'm editing
on Mike.
it all out. Anytime we repeat ourselves, it's out the window.
Honestly, this episode, double everything. I think let's do half an hour and then just double it.
That'd be good. Or we could just stop now. Like, we could do a half episode.
Yeah.
Because we only watched half the movie.
Yeah.
That'd be a real letdown.
I mean,
probably for
listeners,
people,
honestly, if you like Batman and Robin, we would love to hear from you.
right?
No, I don't think anyone likes this movie.
No, and that's sort of why this is like a real bummer of an episode for us and a bummer of a movie, because previously in the past, we've entered into the foray and the fray.
Foray?
The foray.
The foray?
It's French. It's French. Don't worry about it. We've entered in
I believe
there.
Italian, yes.
Oh, okay. What we do is we go in there like critics are wrong, fans are wrong, we are right. And it sucks to come in there and also be like, yeah, we are right, but, so is everybody else.
When you put it like that, it does take a lot of the tension out of the episode. I found one thing that might be interesting to you.
Ooh, I love that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I found a straw man that we can maybe swing at here.
Can you? So I know I've seen a lot of the straw man and all these different fallacies, and I always get them all confused because like people use straw man fallacies when they're in a logical argument, and maybe for other listeners out there who will also maybe have confused them. Straw man is when they redirect the argument to something that they can tear down, even though it doesn't have to do with the original point. Is that what a straw man is?
Well, I think you're adding some conjecture in there, but a straw man is essentially like you find something that you can easily tear down, as you put it. That's just a very convenient target. So it's sort of like if a scapegoat is like out of total convenience, a straw man is like, oh my God, look at this problem, but it's actually not much of a problem.
I find that very strange because for me, I feel like a man is much easier to tear down than a straw man who is obviously constructed to stand up.
But I mean, it's straw, man. I don't think it takes a lot of effort to pull. It's like what, some bindings or something? I mean, it's not. Well, not that strong.
Obviously staked into the ground, so you're gonna have to take the stake out somehow. Like
you think it's harder to remove a stake from the ground than it would be to say, I don't know, rip someone's limbs off or shred their skin?
If we're just talking about tearing something down, you could push me right over. Anyone could just really just push me right over.
That's not a tear down. That's a pushover.
Okay, yeah, I am a pushover. I don't know that I've ever been called a tear down. I'm not sure what that means.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, is it easier to push you down than literally tear down a straw man? Probably. You don't weigh very much.
No, but like that's what I'm saying. If once I'm on the ground, that's the end of that. I can't get back up.
So you're saying, in your vision, I'm going to pounce on you and tear you to pieces the second you're.
I think we should rename. I mean, I'm in this mood because yesterday I was like, that stupid expression, "You can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs." That doesn't.
Well, it's true. Hey, it's true.
No, it's true. It's true, but it doesn't mean anything. What do you get out of that?
The point is that, look, these people out there, and you know who I'm talking about,
they
think you can waltz through life without getting your hands dirty. Well, guess what? You can't make an omelet without getting some yolk all over the fucking stove and your hands.
Okay.
And,
so
some whites maybe in your hair.
Wow.
Some eggshell in the omelet itself. Like, it's not going to turn out well. There's no way to do it without those conditions.
So I like this. So our interpretation, when we were trying to figure it out, was like, because it's very focused on breaking of the egg, but the only way to use the egg is to break it. But you're saying you're going to get your hands dirty.
You're going to get your hands dirty.
Yeah, good at the eggs.
These people, and you know what I'm talking about, they think you can waltz through life without getting your hands dirty. But the thing with making an omelet is you're going to get some yolks on the floor. You're going to get some egg whites up in your hair. You're going to get some eggshell in the omelet. There's no way you can do it any other way. That's really the one way you make an omelet.
You're doubling this so that I don't have to do it later. That's very thoughtful of you.
I'm saving you time. Okay.
Yeah.
This review by Michael T. Brown Comets is from the 9th of October, 2018. God, better days. Better days. Fall 2018.
Those are pretty good days. They weren't great days, but they were pretty good.
The name of the review is Peasants and Fools, Listen Close, which, by the way, Michael, that is an absolutely awesome way to start anything.
I love it. Okay? I'm listening.
Yeah, you've got my attention.
Yeah.
You, and this is presumably the Peasants and Fools of the title, truly do not understand the subtle and beautiful cinematography that accompanies a truly thought-provoking script, lifelike dialogue, and amazing acting. How could you miss the inlaid moral message hidden in this masterpiece? That's how it's written, masterpiece. Like Mr. Freeze, we all...
This is going to be so good.
Good stuff. And Michael... We get your sly wink, and it is delightful. Like Mr. Freeze, we all grapple with the need to freeze the world. Keep it contained in our own personal snow globes. Not mention the obvious gay subplot between Batman and Robin. Why else do they cast someone so old in the titular Boy Wonder role? Each interaction between them was so steamy I popped a rock-hard boner every time they were on screen. My only complaint is that they spent too much time on introducing this Batgirl and trying to turn Robin into something other than the gay icon he was meant to be. Very poor choice. And also, if you don't agree with anything here, you have to agree. If it has a Schwarzenegger, it's a 10. Come on now. 10 out of 10.
How do you spell cum?
In a somewhat boring manner.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
you can't win them all, but he won a lot of it.
That was a good review, Michael. I think, yeah, that's pretty delightful.
I like it. I think if I do a letterboxed review, I don't know, what should my letterboxed review be? Maybe 2.5 stars. I didn't finish it.
Are you joking?
Yeah, I'm joking.
Oh, that's not good. Yeah, some people say that the worst case of groupthink criticism ever has been around this movie.
What does that mean?
The professional criti-mob just held hands and jumped on it per their usual thoughtless whim, and the general audience, just woke up on the wrong side of the collective bed that weekend. That's from Clark Ho 5.
Do you mind if I ask you a question?
Please.
How does Batman take his coffee?
Oh no, Charles right now is being much the stinker, and he is thrusting his glasses to and from at the camera because he's being a bit of a stinker today.
Just
Charles,
curious.
no,
Curious.
I honestly I do not know.
Wow.
How one Batman takes his coffee.
You'd have to ask
Could
him.
you? Okay.
I did ask him.
Okay. What did he tell you?
He said, black. Like the night.
Yeah. I think you just went ahead and broke the internet. 'Cause that fucking owned.
Beano.
R.I.P. the web.
Beano.com. Help me out.
God, Beano rules.
I think there's one more that we didn't get to on our first episode. So,
wait, I'm sorry. There was some part of Beano.com's Batman section we did not get to the bottom of.
I'm pretty sure you
upset.
stopped at Spruce Wayne, but got another one here.
Spruce Wayne is a good ass joke. That one
good.
holds up.
I mean, that's got the LOL icon. It's all it says is LOL. I didn't really realize. I thought you were reading like a text thing. These are just like weird pictures with like trying to be memey, I guess.
They're like sub-meme joke, like visual. I'm not even trying to describe them.
We'll
They're terrible.
post them. You guys, we don't have
Don't
to describe
worry
it to
about
you,
it.
because I'm gonna download all these to my personal computer and then put them out on the Facebook and the
Now,
Instagram.
so you're not an Apple user.
Oh no. I mean, I have an Apple phone.
Mm.
But I'm not sure that makes me an Apple. This is an embarrassing story. I hope I didn't tell it before, but that's all right. I'll just double it and we'll be fine. My phone broke, so I had to go get a new phone. But in the interim, I was helping Amy out doing a favor by doing some Amazon returns. And you heard me. Amazon returns. I'm not one of these losers out there boycotting Amazon. I'm feasting on the Amazon. I scam
There's
the
a fresco
Amazon.
painting of Jeff Bezos behind Charles. It's hard
Right
to
there.
see, but it's no frame, right on the wall.
Yeah.
The bees. Is he the bees or the bays? Bezos?
He's the-
Bezos?
I like to think of him as bees.
I think of him as Bay, though. I think Jeff is Bay.
Yeah. I mean, what if a bee were Bay? That's like
That's
Bezos.
a great question.
Like that bee you see flying around there and buzzing around. Bee.
Hey,
What if
food for
that-
thought.
What if that were your Bay? And also, what if that were Bezos?
What if to get at him you called him Bozos? Like the clown. Bozo the clown. Bit of a bozo.
Bozos.
Jeff
Bozos.
Bezos? No, Jeff Bezos to me. I'm kidding, though. Honestly, Jeff, you make a great product. We love Amazon.com.
Yeah, I would
Man.
tickle your balls, man. Just
The shipping is just, you're doing great stuff. And if those workers really want to piss so bad, maybe they should work in a fetish club in Berlin. That's all I'm trying to say.
you can't argue with that.
But yes, go ahead. You were working on Amazon returns.
So I was doing returns and I brought up you just bring up the barcode, they scan it. I had two though. And I was using Amy's phone and I brought up the one outside, so I was all ready. And then I tried to switch to the second one, but I didn't have internet. And the guy behind the counter was like, "Oh, that's all right. You don't have to go back outside. We have free Wi-Fi in the building." And there I stood, like a fucking boy, in my little shorts, staring confusedly at this phone. I had no idea how to connect to the internet. I was with like a boy and an old man at the same time, confused.
It's called a
wondering
Benjamin
about,
Button situation. Yeah.
Yeah, I was definitely right in the middle of one of those. And he just looked at me and he was like, "You should be able to figure that out." And I had to go back out. I went up back outside. I still got the return happened though. I still returned
Isn't it ironic, Charles, that this internet, this social media was meant to connect us, and yet we find ourselves more disconnected than ever before?
Can you imagine your grandfather or your great-great-grandfather, perhaps, in a Kohl's in the year 1820, desperately standing there trying to connect to the internet? No. There were strong men back then.
Well, it would have been hard. It would have been very impressive if they were in a Kohl's with Wi-Fi in the 1820s or whatever.
Right, because they just would have sent their wife or daughter or servant or something.
Well, I don't know if you're... Okay. Yes, I see what you're saying. Yes, they were probably too busy building railroad or getting immigrants to build railroads.
No, that's what the point you were saying was.
Yeah.
Look at us go.
Look at us go. And here we are now. And this social media, I call it anti-social media.
Okay. I call it asocial media. I also call it sexy media sometimes.
Why's that? No, why do you call it that? Because you get a little sexy on it.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because you're posting horny on the main, as the kids say, several weeks ago.
It is weird. I once was like just hanging with some coworker or somebody. I don't even remember who it was at this point. But like, just like, when you get to see someone else's Instagram feed and it's like, wow, lives. This is like, you could watch a Linklater movie. You could watch a Coen Brothers movie. All these movies saying like, we are disconnected. We will never understand each other. But all you need to do is just stand behind someone as they go through Instagram, and that right there in 1 second you'll see people. You'll never enter another person's mind.
That's really, if you stood behind me right now, it would be anime girl body pillow.
There you go.
Gamer gear.
Yes.
Back scratcher, but funny.
Wait, can you describe what is
memes about the Cleveland Browns? Things that are an insight into who I am at my core. Because I am my Instagram feed, and I'm happy when we get to that point in human culture when we can truly meld with the robots, which I don't think can come a second. Look, sorry, Elon Musk. I see artificial intelligence as a thick bay, and it's a thick bay, and I want to ride those curves all day long. Me and artificial intelligence.
Okay, so this is a different bay than the bee we were talking about earlier. It's the new bay.
No, this isn't Jeff Bezos. This is artificial intelligence is also bay. And I want to if I could plug my fucking frontal lobe right into Instagram, I could finally be actualized into the person that I am, which is a series of like data packets tied together by a single user.
Have you seen a picture of a brain?
Yeah, gross. Not for me. Ugh.
Well, no. Like I know. If you just look at the mushy parts, but if you like look at what the scientists see when a scientist looks at a brain, it's all whiz bang blue shit. It's all like electronic currents.
Okay. There's green and red. There's green and red parts too, and some yellow. I've seen those. I know what you're talking about.
Pink,
it's not all
even.
green
I don't know.
and blue.
But if you compare that to a picture of the underbelly of an Instagram feed,
right?
They're identical. You could line them up, put them on top of each other, tracing paper. Yeah, look at the exact same. We're ready.
I saw an interesting infographic posted by a conservative news website, and it was about what a conservative's brain looks like. It was a cross section, and part of it said freedom, part of it said Ben Shapiro, part of it said free speech, and I was like, I'm not a scientist, but that sounds like what that would look like, and that was cool.
I don't know who Ben Shapiro is, but sure.
Well, don't Google him.
No? Not worth the time?
You're fine. You can live life happily and never find out. But do Google Ben Shapiro's sister singing, because that shit is a gift from God.
That's a good one.
It's just great.
Do you know why Two-Face is one of the better Batman villains?
I say, what now?
Because he is only half bad.
So that's sort of like a qualitative assessment of, or quantitative assessment. It's quite literal.
Yeah, I guess.
But here's my counterpoint: his good side, quote unquote, good side, doesn't really stop the bad side.
Also, his good side is the DA, which we've learned over and over again is probably worse than the person going out and committing all these crimes.
Yeah,
Air quotes,
if you can
air
call
quotes.
him that.
Yeah.
So has anyone you known been disappeared by the Border Patrol yet, or?
No, I don't. No, I guess that's true. It could be happening in Boston, but nothing yet. No.
Are you thinking of singling out anybody to, get the old heave ho?
I got some ideas.
You got a list going? Me too. I got a list going.
Yeah. I mean, it's
It's
very
pretty
short.
good. Yeah.
So far, it's
Craig Bierko.
no. I love my Craig.
You don't want Craig to get disappeared?
No, actually, that'd be sort of funny. No, it wouldn't.
I'd
It'd be
watch the
really-
movie where Craig played someone who's disappeared. I think he could bring a lot of pathos to that.
Yeah, that's sort of what I was thinking is funny, not the actual situation of a real life Craig getting. That's the problem with actors. They so easily slip into the mind as the fictional counterparts that they always portray.
It's the curse of acting because you're really summoning a human, and I love it when an actor goes, yeah, I got to know that guy pretty well, talking about the person they played, and they're like, it was a lot to get inside their mind, it's pretty
Right.
fucked up. It was pretty fucked up to get inside there,
Do you think, to bring it back to an earlier conversation we were just having, they might create like Instagram feeds for movie characters? So then all the actor has to do is sort of just scroll through the feed and then they will blast right in.
They're like, yeah, this guy, like, let's say I'm playing Gandhi in a movie. I'd be like, Gandhi would have liked this photo of beer battered fish tacos.
Yeah, that.
He would have given that. He would have smashed the motherfucking like on that.
I mean, he probably would have done it. I don't know if I would use the word smash for Gandhi.
Tapped it. You tapped it in a
Well,
peaceful manner.
Yeah, I don't think. So when you like something on Instagram, do you double tap or do you hit the heart?
I normally double tap, to be honest. It's more fun.
Yeah,
It feels like I'm having more of a moment.
Too.
Yeah.
Tap. I feel like Gandhi would definitely just lightly brush a finger on the heart, and then
Or
you'd be
have
like,
someone
"That
else
is-"
do it for him while he was doing other stuff. He's a busy guy. So let me ask you this. Do you think in the future, actors to get into characters, because someday people like you and I, we could be the movie character of tomorrow.
We could.
Probably me. I've done more interesting stuff. You're kind of
I mean, up until
Well-
today, but today I got a little message from a Craig Bierko, which
Well,
I
today
think,
you were welcomed with open arms into the elite realm that journalists and actors, the rarefied air that we breathe together. But, if someone was trying to get into character as a Josh, a Charles, are they going to try to replicate our Insta feeds to understand what our worlds were like,
Yeah, that's what we've been talking about.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they're going to do. This is the future. They won't even have to replicate it because we will live eternally inside the machine.
Like in that Johnny Depp movie, that rules. You ever, that when people say the future is now, people say that?
I've heard that. It's very
That shit
confusing.
is cool as fuck to say.
I know, because it doesn't make any sense.
I'm
And
like,
then you think
now?
about it.
It's now? Oh
I
my
thought it was
God.
tomorrow.
I didn't know. No one told me.
It's crazy, man. Oh, Thelma and
now.
Louise finished. I'll have to tell Amy. Amy's watching. I think she definitely got this sort of the way that I got her present partially for me for Christmas. I think she sort of got this outdoor TV set up for her. She's inviting a bunch of her friends over tomorrow while I'm in New York. Stay safe.
Why are you doing that? What are you doing?
I don't know. Maybe you can tell me if you think it's a bad idea. So
I can tell you off the bat, it sounds like a bad idea.
Well, I'm getting a tattoo tomorrow.
That sounds like a very bad idea. I don't
But
like
here's
this
what-
plan at all.
And what I'm doing is I'm wearing a P100 mask.
You have so many tattoos. It's unnecessary. You don't need to do it right now. It's a bad
I know.
idea.
I know it's not a, but I think I'm doing it in a way that's safe. I'm wearing
But
a mask
you're
that
rationalizing something that you know inherently to be unnecessary and risky.
it's risky. But I think given the risk, I have an appropriate response to it.
But you've created the risk that you now are attempting to catch up to, was the
Right.
point I'm making.
I know. So that's what I was like. Some people are getting their haircuts and pedicures, and for me, I would never do that. But then I'm like, why am I doing this tattoo thing?
But I would create an open wound on my body during a pandemic.
Yeah.
So that's the middle ground you found to some people getting their hair cut is I will open up my skin in a foreign place.
Can I catch it through a wound?
Yes.
You think so?
Do you think it's in a pandemic setting? Do you think having an open wound is just gut reaction a plus or a minus?
Well, I don't know. I'd have to do a lot more research.
You
I don't know.
don't know.
I thought
if
it was
having
just
an open wound at a time of a transmittable virus that's aerosolized and spreading across the country like wildfire is having a wound good or bad? A non-important wound that you've chosen to opt into and travel for. All of that is a terrible idea, Charles.
You think so? Think I should
You have
cancel?
so many fucking tattoos. You're going to be fine to not get a tattoo right now. There's literally no reason to do it right now.
Yeah. No, it's the only one. I lost 8 appointments, and I'm not going to
It's
reschedule
fine.
those.
You don't. It's just do it later. You're covered in tattoos. I picked up a CD curbside delivery from a store today. I don't even want to go
You
in a
just
store
vomited.
right now.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's different because
the guy did puke all over the fucking CD, which was very embarrassing for both of us.
maybe it's different because I'm working.
I'm also working.
Where I'm no, but I'm constantly around people.
Okay, listen to what you just said and add creating a voluntary open wound to that situation.
Look, we already
and
talked
ask
about it. I'm
yourself,
covered in open wounds.
it's not the same. Eczema is something that you deal with because God hates you. Getting a tattoo is your own decision. And a bad
Also
one.
because
Cancel
God
it.
hates me. You think I should cancel it?
No, yes, you should cancel it. This is
Wow.
stupid.
All right. Well, I'm sorry I told you. I'm going to talk
Well,
to
you
Craig.
should feel dumb. You should feel bad.
Craig's always supportive of my decisions.
Craig has not heard this, and you're non-consensually bringing in his approval to the situation. I think you should apologize to Craig.
Do you think we should try to? I looked at Cameo. There's a chat feature, and it's $2.99.
You're not going to change the subject. Don't do this. It's stupid. I'm mad at you.
Fuck.
You don't need a tattoo right now.
Yeah. Well, I'll look into it. Wow, this is
If
very
you had to
intimidating
estimate how
to
many
have it on
tattoos you
air.
had right now, if you had to estimate
It's not
how
about
many
the
tattoos,
quantity.
if you had to estimate how many tattoos you have, what number would you throw out?
I mean, I don't think that's a fair question. I think you should be asking, well, for your point, because my number's going to be much lower than you think because they're all connected. So you should probably ask,
Oh my God.
what percentage of your body is...
What percentage of your beautiful Christian body is covered in ink?
And I'll include negative space because I do have some line work and stuff like that.
And people often don't understand negative space. It's as much a part of the art as is the right.
So 80.
80. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, how do we describe the situation we're in the world right now? Good, bad, middle, what do you think?
Pretty terrible.
Pretty terrible.
Yeah. It's a bad time. Yeah, not great time.
So not great. Okay. Well, I don't think you should do that. I think it's a bad idea.
Okay. So you think so I've been under the impression that it's something transmitted that you catch through breathing in. But you think it's if someone spits in an open wound. I mean, obviously I would get something bad might happen with that. But you're saying that coronavirus could float into my open wound.
Yes, it could. And I think every
Do a little
vector
research
point
here.
that you create in this is a new variable that did not exist before. So by traveling elsewhere, by going into a small enclosed space with someone for a long period of time, all of these things are massive vectors that increase the variables that you're facing at a time where it's very bad.
Yeah.
So regardless of the open wound situation, every single part of that leads up to a greater multiplier of variables you cannot control that are bad.
It's true.
I don't like going to the grocery store right now.
I know, but you gotta.
Right. Do you gotta get that tattoo?
No.
So, does that, full circle here?
Yeah, well, I'll I'll have to think about it.
I'm less likely to travel to Boston to hang out with you if you've gone to New York to get a tattoo during a pandemic. Especially New York, the former COVID capital of America.
Yeah,
It's
you're
no
okay
good.
though now, right?
Oh my God. Are you trying to drive me insane?
No, I not
This is a
trying.
very bad idea. We all have given stuff up. I was going to go to fucking Japan, motherfucker.
I know. That is sad.
Right, so let's all not contribute to the situation to make it worse for everybody. Dios míos. I went to a drive-in last night, and that was stressful as heck, and that's not...
Wait, really? You thought that was stressful?
Yeah, because you're still around a lot of people, and like, you know, as my girlfriend puts it, like, you can lower the risk all you want, but at the end of the day, it's binary. Like, if your risk proves to be wrong, that's just it in the situation. There isn't like a middle ground. You don't get sort of COVID, because even if you get COVID and don't actively have symptoms, you could seriously fuck up everyone around you at work, at home. The risk is unbelievably high, and if there's things we don't have to do, we just shouldn't do them.
All right, Josh. Well, I appreciate all the information. I'm going to think about it more.
If you go, you'll be the Batman and Robin of people.
God damn it. I'm always something.
Yeah, that's life.
It seems bloodborne transmission there's no evidence that it exists.
You could be the guy. They'll call it the Charles Hobby effect.
I cannot wait. You just push me to go.
That's awful.
I've never had an effect. I've always named effects. I'm very good at that.
Regardless of the open wound situation, you're going to be in a small enclosed space with someone for a long period of time, and that is completely, obviously, a dangerous thing to do.
Mm-hmm. But I have a mask that filters out. This is boring podcasting, Josh. We should do this.
This is good. This is good. We took a real turn here, and I think people are going to be like, the tone shifted.
Josh was like, early in the episode, I was sort of on the defensive because I didn't pay for Charles's birthday present. It came late. But now I found something that...
I tried to pay for it, which I think deserves some recognition.
It does, yes. But I'm just saying you were on the defensive. But now you found something that you can like wholeheartedly get like really on pressure and like lose all that stuff they were talking about earlier.
Right, because I'm objectively right. And when
you
have
are
that
objectively
feeling,
right that it is dangerous. But you're missing the point that I have a mask which filters out everything. Medical professionals are wearing them.
But to think that you're creating a situation that requires that level of compensation for danger is avoiding the fact that it is ultimately your responsibility.
Yes.
So being like, I've created a dangerous situation that I think I can mitigate doesn't really make it not a dangerous situation that you've created.
No, I don't disagree with you. I think it is a dangerous situation that I've created and then I've come up with a way to not make it dangerous anymore.
Not 100%.
But neither is anything.
I know, but some things we have to do.
But this is safer than me going to work.
But
I
you're
go to work
already
4 days
taking on
a
the
week.
risk of going to work and presented with this binary threat of exposure.
Yeah.
And now you're compounding that with something that you don't have to do. It's a multiplier. There's no other way to look at it.
Right.
So if our objective is safety, reducing multipliers is the simplest way to achieve that goal.
That's true.
Right. So I'm saying if you don't have to have a multiplier, you can just not do it and it's fine.
That's true.
There's no problem with that.
That's true.
Right.
My friend said I'm starting to annoy her because I relate everything to Batman.
I mean, I certainly understand this series having a corrosive impact on our lives. Is this the end of this chunk? God, what a shit way to end
Kung Pao
the
Chick. I just read the wrong punchline.
You just read Kung. I read that one to you. What's Batman's favorite Chinese food? Hey, this movie was racist as fuck.
Yeah, so I think I didn't get to that point.
Holy shit.
What was that hate crime you were talking about?
Well, first off, we have like the generic axis of evil part of the guys looking at Bane's creation, and they appear to be like Iran, Libya, and like random African general, which is such a 90s shitty, lazy, like...
It's not even 90s, dude. They do that. They've been doing that forever. Like, I rewatched Independence Day Resurgence. It still has that same sort of shit in it. It's just like, it's never going to go away.
It sucks so bad. America is the ultimate terrorist. Not good. And then we have they cut to like one of the zillion galas that are attended in this fucking movie.
Yes.
Where they have like the Save the Rainforest gala with the people of color dressed as I think are supposed to be indigenous Amazonians.
Yeah. That's
doing
right.
what I can only describe as a grotesque act of minstrelry.
I think that's sort of when I was having technical problems and wasn't really I was paying zero attention to it. But yeah, I did see one frame of some of that bullshit. That's just what it was happening back then. It's crazy. Like that was not even a choice by someone being like, yeah, let's like do this obvious thing. It's like, that's just like, it was no thought went into that at all.
It's shit. I don't know if there's Mr. Freeze's ambiguous girlfriend is black. I think she's the one black person with the speaking role in this movie.
Yeah. And she has a higher pun ratio than Mr. Freeze himself. I think every one of her lines is a pun.
Talk about a cold shoulder.
Yeah, that's one of them.
So what we learned, Batman plus wintertime equals dog shit.
That's your theory, and I think it holds up. We're gonna find out when we get to like part 2 of the Batverse. See, because Dark Knight Rises has some winter stuff in it.
Yes, I believe another legendary turd is also a winter-based film. God, what a cursed series. I mean,
yeah.
Thank God we're taking a break. I couldn't turn around and do.
Well, you know what we're doing next?
Let's wrap this first. Let's wrap up the whole series.
Okay.
We got to just put a bullet in this fucking thing.
Yeah, bam.
Much like I hope to put a bullet in your dog shit plans to get a tattoo.
All right, we'll talk about that.
We'll
after.
update listeners. We'll update listeners later. It'll be great.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we are at the end of the day. A pretty sodden series. It's a little like Batman Forever, I think we both agree, was the best movie of these 4. And that's like a fine movie. It's like a movie. It was fun to watch. And I don't know if fun to watch really elevates a series to like I found Batman fun to watch, and I don't love that movie, and you didn't like that movie. I guess we're really battling out over who takes number 4. Is it a dead tie for 4? Like, because Batman Return. Well, hold on. Okay, I have my ranking.
I have, based on my Letterboxd reviews, it's 2.5 stars, half star, half star, half star. So yeah, they're rating wise.
That's so you.
Because I think for me, at a certain point, I don't really give many 1s and 2s. I feel like I don't really understand the point of the 1 and the 2. I haven't figured out how to use that in my rating system yet. It's 3 or higher. I'm very, cavalier with my 3s and 4s.
With the 2, you're saying it was pretty bad, and it's like, fuck that.
And for me, exactly.
Why is pretty bad? That's not a fucking rating. Pretty
for
bad
me,
is
if I'm
bad.
at pretty bad, I'm just giving it the half star or the 1 star. I don't give a fuck. There's no 2. It's like getting a D. Just fail the stupid idiot. Get him out of your class.
Because a D is saying this person barely understands something, and that's not really useful.
No. A C is important, I guess, because it's like there's room here. They didn't. But once you're at the D,
you can presume fundamentals with a C.
Yeah.
A D is like they barely fucking got their name right, but like enough right to pass. Like a D suggests that you could just have filled out the date correctly on the test, and that somehow bumped you up to like a passing.
Right.
And that was basically my chemistry experience in high school. So like I wouldn't trust me. I passed chemistry, and there's no universe where that should have been the case.
Yeah. No, I just, looking at you, I can tell that you're no chemist. He's picking his nose.
I had an itch. It's allowed.
Yeah, it's allowed. It's fine. I wasn't judging. I'm just saying,
You don't think this bootleg Lana Del Rey shirt conveys a sense of scientific authority?
It's really good.
I got it the night.
I
got it outside TD Garden, and then I went back to your house, and me and Eric watched The Phantom Menace.
We sure did. That was a great night. So to get the rankings correct, though, I actually do have an order. It's on. I don't have any ties. I do have a bam, 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 bam.
Would you care to share? You did set it up there, so let's take it home.
Okay. Number 1. Number 3. Batman Forever. Number 2. I don't have an order. I thought I had one. It felt so good in my brain. But then just as I was about to say that Batman 1 was better than Batman 4, I'm like, but Tim Burton. But no, Batman 1.
Come on. Batman 1 is
1.
obviously the second best. You hated it. I think it's a very watchable movie. I enjoy it. I don't love it, but I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Batman Forever is much more of a complete movie,
Yeah.
and certainly I just don't like Tim Burton similarly, but not enough to automatically disqualify it.
So 2,
And then,
1, 3,
It's
2.
got to be... Michelle
Yeah.
Pfeiffer elevates
Yeah.
Batman Returns slightly over this movie.
I would say 3. Yeah, I'm. It's not even for me a question. This is the worst. I know I didn't finish it, so maybe I missed something. But
You did.
This
you did
was
not.
one of those, like, it sucked. It was a cash in. The dialogue sucked. Everything about it was just dog shit. George fucking Clooney. We didn't even talk about him. We're over an hour into this episode, and George Clooney was
But what's to say?
the worst.
He's
He was-
barely there.
It sucked. Like, I don't even know. There's like I read something online where they were like, Schumacher put a cowl over George Clooney's head from ER or something else that he was in. They're like, look at that. That's a face of Batman. It's like, really? I thought he was like the worst chin of the bunch.
Well, he cast Uma Thurman from a photo.
Jesus, this is such a weird world. Yeah, I think even just without even the acting, without the story, without anything, ranking the chins is the exact same. It's Kilmer, Keaton, Clooney. Clooney's not even Batman. His turtleneck sucked. Everything about him sucked.
And if the joke of this movie is that it's campy and silly, and it is extremely campy and extremely silly, it's not funny.
Right.
So
It's not
if that's
funny.
your excuse, doesn't work.
It's not fun. Like, that's the thing.
It's a slog to get through this fucking movie.
Everyone has such drastically different acting styles. Like, Robin is the only remaining vestige from the third one, and he's still like holding pretty true to that. But everybody around him is like, Clooney is out to lunch. Schwarzenegger and Uma Thurman are like out of control.
Thurman is straight up awful in this, and I don't really blame her because like I'm not sure how you could read that script and make it not sound fucking terrible. Because like pretty much everyone just like babbles exposition until they run to their character where they restate the exposition. It's really, and that's Akiva Goldman wrote this, or Goldsmith or whatever. Like he's like an Oscar award-winning screenwriter.
Weird.
It's gonna be fucking.
I heard
it's
somebody blamed the failures of this movie is that they had to they fast tracked it because they wanted to just make toys or something. But I don't know.
The toyetic thing, yeah. I think Schumacher puts a lot of blame on the studio for rushing it because of the toy thing. And I'm willing to believe that to a certain degree. But like,
I guess so. But I mean, at a certain point, you're still in charge of some parts of it. And I don't really know what you accomplished other than getting in your signature butt shot.
And he gets the butt and crotch, like doubles of the crotch and butt in immediately in this movie.
Right. And it's like, this is me. All right, here we go. And then maybe that was his like quick wink to the audience. Like, I'm here, but everything was taken away from me. So enjoy the rest of this shit. I'm going to get out of here right now.
Yeah. We've seen the butts. We've seen the bulges. The rest is just, I'm sorry.
Which it's a little disappointing because the opening scene up until things start happening with the ice skaters and the giant cheap diamond, like the opening 3 minutes look great. I thought the new car looks cool. The camera work was really great, but it like you slowly can't even focus on it. And then the
You're
CGI
standing
comes
on a
in.
dry patch in a monsoon of liquid shit. So like, I don't know. It's hard to look back at any of that. It's just a shitty movie.
Yeah,
Batman. Stay out of winter.
This must get an MVP.
Ugh.
It must. I mean, this was your thing. We could abandon the MVP and never do it again.
I don't know. No, it's so fucking all or nothing with you. We don't have to abandon it forever.
It's a binary choice, okay?
Are you
either
comparing
do the MVP
COVID-19 to
or you
our
don't.
MVP ranking?
I don't know.
Psycho?
If that's what you got out of it, maybe.
I'll give it to Alicia Silverstone. She's great and full of pep, and she was mistreated by the press, mistreated by the people who made the movie, given a terrible character to work with, and none of it is her fault. Clueless owns, except for the ending, which is still pretty weird. Alicia Silverstone deserved better. She gets my MVP vote.
She gets my MVP vote as well. Yeah.
Okay, Alicia, there you go. And let's give, series MVP? Because we're at the end of a chunk.
Series MVP.
MVP. Is it true that I think when Tommy Lee Jones met Jim Carrey on the set of Batman Forever, like the story, and this could be apocryphal, he was like, "I'm not impressed with your tomfoolery" or something. He said something like very Tommy Lee Jones to Jim Carrey.
It's so nice.
Like about his buffoonery. I'm gonna look it up. You
okay.
Think of something.
While you're looking it up, I'm gonna award my MVP to Val Kilmer. I think he was the only person that actually was Batman. I think Michael Douglas was doing a weird thing that maybe Tim Burton tried to see in the script, this thing, and he never really became Batman. I don't know. Val Kilmer was Batman. He was the best Batman. This is a Batman franchise. Val Kilmer was the highlight, I think, of this whole verse for me.
Okay, so the story that Jim Carrey told on Norm Macdonald Live is that he went over to Tommy Lee Jones at a restaurant, and he went over to introduce himself, and the blood drained from his face, and he got up shaking.
Wait, who's he in that situation?
Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones went white.
Shaking in rage, and he goes to Jim Carrey to hug him and says, "I hate you. I really don't like you." And Jim Carrey goes, "What's the problem?" And according to Jim Carrey, Tommy Lee Jones said, "I cannot sanction your buffoonery."
Incredible line.
Yeah, so Tommy Lee Jones, congratulations. You're the series MVP because you told Jim Carrey you couldn't sanction his buffoonery, which is such a Tommy Lee Jones thing. Like, I can envision him delivering that as though he's on stage at at Carnegie Hall, you know?
Clint Eastwood is another person I feel like this old man being afraid of this new way of acting and stuff. I don't know. I mean, but it's not even that new. I feel like there's a bunch of comedians that were crazy like Jim Carrey was. I guess, he's got particular tastes. Doesn't like buffooning.
When you're Tommy Lee, you like what you like and you know what you don't like. God bless him. God bless him.
Yeah.
Well, we crawled our way out of the fucking carapace of the first attempt at a Batman franchise. A miserable failure. 3 Batman in 4 movies. Alfred is the single continuous character across the 4.
He sucks.
Gotham could not look more different between the first and second half of all of it is a mess. They collectively managed to build nothing. A complete sandcastle, a disaster of a franchise.
That's a
Even if you
great
like
point.
parts of it, they could never get this to congeal. They overcooked it. They rushed it. Just bad. So, fuck that. One sec. I'm getting a call.
Yeah, that's all right.
Hello? It was one of these computer calls. Don't take that out, okay? People, this thing with these robot calls, I'm trying to record a freaking podcast.
The robot knows that probably too.
I cannot sanction its buffoonery.
It sucks that they know your work number.
Yeah.
Because if this were your cell phone, you just never would answer it. But they have you tied to this you have to answer your phone.
They call it the copper wire teat.
I don't think so.
Okay, our next series, now that we've left the Bat, we've left the dark alleyways of Gotham.
Yeah.
Where, Charles, do we go next?
Well, we've made some changes to the schedule, but I think we're sort of right back on track. And this was a decision we made way back, and I think it'll be a nice respite. We are heading into the Cornettiverse.
Oh, thank God. Oh, phew.
Yeah.
Oh,
Things
we get to watch
know.
some Edgar Wright movies. This is great.
Things we love. This is a good time.
Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, The World's End.
We've had a strange, I feel like podcasting right now is weird anyway, because we had a very weird way to keep podcasting through some of the worst eventual history that I've been a part of, where we did RoboCop right as the protests were happening. We moved to Batman, and that was we thought, oh, maybe this will be fun. It wasn't fun. So this is really nice to know. I've seen these movies a dozen times. I already know. I don't even know if I have to watch them again, but I will because I love them.
It bears noting that nothing has changed since RoboCop, and we should all be very aware of ongoing protest and very aware of the horrifying expansion of federal power that's seeing these terrifying things happen in Portland, Oregon right now, doubtless
Yeah.
elsewhere. And again, as many have noted, people, if you're an immigrant or a person of color, the shock of the government disappearing you, that's a very like privileged revelation that the government can just seize you away and ruin your life and shunt you off into a horrific, shadowy system of excruciating treatment. So we got to wake up. It's only like this is the experience many people have had for a long time, and we're making a lot of fun jokes about the state of the world, but it's very bad.
It sucks. Yeah, it's
Breonna
it's,
Taylor,
it's,
Elijah McClain, George Floyd, Tony McDade, all names that you should remember, all messages and stories that we have to keep at the center of our lives because it's very bad what we've done. Mamma mia.
Yeah, it's Like I remember getting into not even an argument, but just like somebody once said that like just Republicans are bad people, and I was like, I don't know if that's true. I would say that Republican or like politicians are bad people, but I don't know. It's just becoming more and more clear that a large portion of this country are just selfish and do not care about anything because they make these claims about being patriotic and being against tyranny and all this shit. And yet in the face of tyranny, because it's not actively against them, they don't care. And it just sucks to watch. It's really discouraging. So yeah, we're going to have fun, you and me and maybe a couple of people who listen. But it always is good to know that just because the news isn't reporting about protests anymore because, hey, they were peaceful, and now that there's like nothing left to say about violence and looting, which never should have been in the news anyway, it's still happening everywhere. It's been going on for months now, and you should continue to educate yourself.
Absolutely. It's a white supremacist nation. We benefit from that, and I'll hope that we can contribute positively to the country by not being huge pieces of shit forever. But we will continue being huge pieces of shit with our continued coverage of the movies where we watch them from start to finish here on When Will It End. Charles, do you have anything from Beano.com you want to share to take us out?
I don't.
Have we exhausted the Beano.com well?
Yeah, we got Ham. We got that.
It's
one
really
already.
time to leave if we've...
Oh, here's one. This is a good one. This is relevant to today's episode. Well, there's a couple. That was from the movie. Okay. Batman doesn't like going out on nature walks because, like everyone, he doesn't like poison ivy. Like, I don't know. That's not a great one. That wasn't good.
It wasn't a good movie, so,
I guess it's
fuck
true.
us, right? And fuck
Applicable
you
joke.
for listening. Just fuck it. Just fuck it.